Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. Oof. Well, I'll definitely sit there and say they brought on the drama. They brought on the drama. Brought it on enough for me to sit there and make a review. You would honestly think that Sharon's Coffee House is the only place that anyone can ever get coffee from, right? I'm trying to keep this review as positive as I can, but Summer decides to go to Sharon's Coffee House. You already have a problem with Sharon, right? And after a while of her apologizing, she lays into her. And then when Nick comes in, she's all like, oh, well, you just can't really force me to forgive her right away. Okay, but could you not actually come to her goddamn place of work if you're going to sit there and act like that? I'm not even sitting there saying some of the stuff she said was wrong. What I'm saying is if you have this much of an issue, I'm pretty sure they serve coffee at Society. I'm just saying. I imagine that they do. Okay? I don't understand why her and her dingbat ass mother are always going to Sharon's place, and then they want to sit there and start whining and crying and getting these little bitchy attitudes with her, and it's like, you don't have to be here. And then she decides she's going to sit down and have her coffee and her muffin, and I'm just like, you just tore into this woman, and you have the audacity to sit your little flat ass down and start having your normal breakfast as though nothing just transpired before. And then she has a conversation with Claire, because for some odd reason, Claire is like a glutton of punishment, I swear. I want this woman to develop a goddamn backbone, right? Because for some odd reason, she decides to walk up to her and starts talking about Harrison. And then, of course, the thing is, you feel there's a certain level of bullying that goes on. And I've seen the comments. Well, Claire did sit there and go after Kyle, who was her cousin's husband. One, ex-husband, okay? That's just number one. Number two, I don't give a... Let's be very clear about something, okay? I don't give a damn if that was her cousin's husband. Cousin's ex-husband. It's an ex-husband, okay? She don't have no claim over him. She doesn't have a right over him. He is not her slave. He is not her property. So if she wants to sit there and have a relationship with Kyle, then she can have a relationship with Kyle. And if Summer has a problem with it, who gives a damn? I don't care if they're cousins or not. I don't give two flying shits. I just want to be very clear about that. Okay? Because some people are just like, well, Claire can't be trusted because she's... So what? So goddamn what? Summer's with Chance at this point, in case she forgot about that. So let's just get that out the way. But for some odd reason, Claire decides to ask Summer advice on trying to get Victor on board with Kyle. She says that's not going to happen. Then she says, well, is it really worth fighting for? It's like these underhand little digs that she keeps doing. And then she's just like, well, whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. And then she walks off. And you can tell that was a dig at her. And I'm just like, how many goddamn digs are you going to sit there and take from this girl before you decide, you know what, enough is enough. I apologize to you. I try to be nice with you. I try to keep the peace. At this point, F it, F you, and F your goddamn feelings. At what point is she going to sit there and say enough is enough? Okay? because it's just ridiculous at this point. You know, everybody else is pretty much on board with giving her another chance and at the very least trying to find some sort of common ground, some sort of whatever, without the constant digging that she does. But see, that's the thing though. She wants to dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. Let Claire dig back. And then see how fast she sits there and plays the victim. Daniel is now getting on board with Billy. And Phyllis says, well, what convinced you? What convinced you to sit there and get on board with me and Billy? Maybe he might have to do something with his dwindling bank account. Who knows? I mean, unless at this point you're going to sit there and dip into Lucy's college fund, you might as well get on board. Or you can just sit there and just be an unemployed bum. I mean, you could just do that. I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's been working for you, right? I mean, because you have so many... Oh, wait, you don't really have any job prospects besides Billy. Yeah, and yet he still wants to sit there and shit on him. You know, the guy who's actually getting him a job. And by the way, he doesn't even know what he wants to do. I swear, I know this show used to actually be good. I know this show used to be good. And it used to actually have characters that made sense. I know that. I can feel that in my bones, okay? Daniel has come across as a goddamn joke at this point. And Phyllis is not that much better. Phyllis is not there trying to call Billy and then making these, you know, because she doesn't like Sally. Okay, fine, whatever, Sally and your daughter had issues, okay, whatever. Phyllis, you're not exactly perfect, so let's kind of calm down on the judgment a little bit. You have a history to sit there and say the least. But what does this woman do? Oh, she's all like, oh, you don't... Sally isn't good enough for Billy. And me and Daniel are just like, so do you think you're good enough for Billy at this point? I mean, you just said that Sally wasn't good enough. So you think that you can fill the position? And of course she lies, or she's like, no, that's not it at all. And then afterwards she calls Billy again. I'm like, leave this man alone. What's the next idea? You're gonna fly to Paris and sit there and bother him on his little getaway trip? Which, honestly, to tell you the truth, the stuff about Sally and Billy were just boring. And I mean, you can watch the episode to sit there and see how that played out. I would sit there and say it was just boring. Just to shortcut that. There's a point where Nick is trying to make Sharon feel better. And Smith is saying, you know, the PCP was in her system and she's not to blame for this, that, and the third. Then she walks up to, I'm not even going to sit there and say that nickname that Nick says, because here's the thing, I'm not going to sit there and disrespect a DC character like that. Even if the CW actually did something very similar, I'm not going to do that. But I will sit there and say, as he walks up to her and says, hey, listen, me and Sharon are going for breakfast. Are we good? And she's like, yeah, it's just, you know, I have to sit there and do this on my, you know, I just have to sit there and find a way to get there. Just, you know, don't push me, don't rush me to get there. It was like, well, your little cushy ass is not there sitting down in Sharon's coffee house. So, like, you want to sit there and tell me how that works out in your head? This show is, I don't know. I'm watching Hollyoaks, by the way. I've been sitting there saying this in all my reviews. I don't know. This show isn't terrible. There's certain things that they do in this show that is just boggling, but I guess it's you know. I mean, I don't want Ward to come back. To come back. But I know that he is, because they had Jordan come back like 3 or 4 times, so don't know how the paramedics kind of skipped on the fact that, you know, he wasn't dead. I don't know, maybe he's good at really slowing down his heart. Just saying. That's pretty much all I got. Share this video. Definitely helps. I actually got some numbers on YNR. So, I don't know. I was thinking about doing a review on Days, and then I sat there and said no. But I did watch it, so we'll talk about that tonight. Also, I was just like, I could sit there and do a review on B&B, even though, well, I mean, it's B&B, so. It's weird, because it's like, B&B will give me higher numbers than Y&R, but Y&R will sometimes have better material to sit there and talk about. So I always find that funny. It's like B&B would just do rinse and repeat, bootlicking, goofy ass stuff, and somehow I have to sit there and find something out of that cesspool of 18 minutes to sit there and talk about. At least with Y&R, even though I don't get the numbers that I would like to get, they do give me material, even if it's in the form of Summer, Phyllis. Anyway, that's all I got. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. Share this video because it really does actually help. And I will see you in the next video.